thing. So I don't know where everybody is. Probably somewhere else. There's probably another, rebooted. I went back into the studio, the virtual studio here as it's provided by Restream. They're like, here's your show from today. So I just went back into it and here I am. And now everybody's gone because I have no idea. There's probably another stream out there with all my chickens in the coop and they're sitting there and they are waiting for me to pop back on. And I'm over here and there we go. All right. One person's here. I don't know where everybody else went. Man, I was rolling on that Chinese sex bot story too. That's really upsetting. All right. So Restream is still saying that there is nobody. There's not a single zero. They're showing me zero. And I've got a couple people in the chat room. So I know that zero is wrong. That's okay. We're going to keep going. Spread the word. Tell folks out there if they're looking for us. This is where we are. This is where I'm doing it now. Yeah. Cannot talk. My buddy Mitch calling me. I cannot talk. Well, I'm glad I'm back too, Al. We had Al here before we get too far downstream. Yes, I'm very familiar with this story. I chose not to do it because, you know what I mean? Yeah, some woman went, first of all, I don't know what you come here for, if not for my unfiltered, some like heavily tattooed Florida chick went swimming in a river known to be populated by alligators, and she got her arms ripped off. Terrible story, man. But why are you swimming in rivers in Florida? Okay. I'm from Chicago. I do not go jogging, on O Block. I don't, because I'm from here. And I know. Whoa. Anyway. She's probably like, oh, I'm born and raised here in Florida, and this is what we do. We swim with the gators, and we ain't afraid of the gators. They probably do that. That same thing doesn't apply to, white guys raised on the south side of Chicago. I'm not like, well, I was born here, so I'm going to go hang out over there by, IIT. I'm just going to walk the streets there, South Halstead, and I'm going to just talk to people. Let's see. We don't do that. We don't do that. So I don't excuse some Florida girl. She's a native. She knows how to deal with No, she doesn't. Nobody knows how to deal with. I probably have a better chance communicating and dealing with 19-year-old gangbangers than she does with alligators. It's a crazy story. It is a crazy story. And look at us, Al. We just did the story of the woman who fought an alligator. Mama B's back, and that's truly important to me. So thank you. Barney says the other show did end. Okay, so here's what happened. We were in the middle of my guys, I usually don't share this with you because it's a little bit of pulling the curtain back, but I was really enjoying the riff I was having on that Chinese sex bot story. I was really into it, man. And we had more coming that I was ready to go. Yeah. I was into it. I was having fun. Well, the good Lord in all his wisdom decided that around about that point, he was going to pull the plug on this show, and a big storm came rolling through. Anyway, we're back. Comes right back. That's a great thing about living in libtard, socialist, far left, south side of Chicago. The great thing, our power doesn't go out like ever. Okay, see, when I was growing up here in the city of Chicago, in the Chicago burbs, it doesn't really, borders don't matter because it's all used to be, wasn't it Commonwealth Edison? I don't know what it's called now, but it used to be Commonwealth Edison. Tornadoes would come through your town, and yes, you wouldn't have power for like 5 or 6 hours, and then it came back on, and that, you would expect that. Not even once a year. Like you didn't even expect it once a year. You were like, oh, just special snowstorm, whatever. Power might go out for a couple hours, but they put it back on. Here we are in 2026, and it is in other parts of the country perfectly normalized that when your power goes out, it's going to be out for a couple days. I remember there was a storm 1 year ago today, wasn't it? 1 year ago today, God bless them, when we had those terrible storms in Texas. When the river overflowed there in Austin and wiped out that campers school. Terrible tragedy. So storms, anyway, I gotta get back. I just got sad. I'm like, oh, remember how sad that was? I was living in Highland Park at the time, and two of the victims were from Highland Park. So there were all kinds of memorials on every tree, and every tree had a pink ribbon, and it's just very sad. Anyway, point is this. It wasn't until I moved to Texas, and I don't know if this has to do with the way Texas has privatized their energy system or not, but you people, you expect your power to be out for like a day, 2 days, 3 days. I remember, yes, I think it was last year. Wasn't like Ben Rogers of like Ben and Skin? Wasn't he like living in a hotel because his power in his beautiful North Texas expensive suburb had been out for like 2 weeks? We've never experienced that. We've had tornadoes wipe out entire towns. We've had blizzards that had blanketed this city, and our power never goes out for more than a couple of hours. It comes right back on. That must be because we're communists, right? And we don't let business, private industry run our important things quite like you do in Texas. Well, you guys normalize the idea of like power being out for hours and hours. That's just how it works. Not up here, it doesn't. I know we're communists and I know we pay way too much money in taxes, but our fucking power comes back on like it just did today. It went out for less than 3 minutes and came right back on. Success. And that truly is why. It's because of the way the power system has been constructed and sold out from underneath the good citizens of Texas years ago. It was sold to private businesses who don't run it to your satisfaction as a citizen. Now they run it for profit. It's, whatever. And so if that means they can't hire as many guys to fix the lines or repair shit because, they have to have yachts, the board of directors, they all have to have multiple yachts. So, they got to cut corners elsewhere. And they're the ones who get the contract to run the power for the fucking entire state of Texas. It's insane. Your ERCOT system is insane. We need to socialize power in this country. We need to socialize all the energy in this country. That's right. Gas, oil, power. We need to socialize the things that are super important for our way of life, because private industry has proven that, well, all they'll do is get you accustomed to having no power for multiple days in wealthy suburbs. That's not supposed to happen to rich people. But when it's normalized, they just think, well, that happens to everybody. I know. She's like, uh-oh, you sound like a commie. Well, I don't know what that means, because I don't think half the people in this country understand what communism is. They don't have the slightest idea. They don't know how it portends to, like, socialism or Marxism or fascism, whatever the isms are. They don't. Here's what they know. Communism is a bad word. It's like pedophile. Oh, wait, pedophile's not a bad word anymore. Pedophile's fine. They're good with pedophiles. Back to the communists. Now it's all about communists. And I was there too. I was raised in the Cold War. I'm a Cold War baby. So, I had, communist? What are you, communist? Let's take a bus back to Cuba, you communist. Shit like that. That's a line that my host, Kevin Matthews, used to say that I always thought was funny. Like, anybody that would say anything that wasn't, crazy pro-American, he would respond with, "Oh, you communist, why don't you take a bus back to Cuba?" I always thought that was funny, because you can't take a bus to Cuba, and he knew that. Maybe he was trying to suggest that people that throw that slur and call people communist at the drop of the hat, maybe he was trying to suggest that they're stupid and would think you could take a bus back to Cuba. I don't know. I just always thought it was a good joke. Anyway, very happy. Power's back on. Good for us. Good for us. We will continue with the show. Wait, Peter. All right. So, oh my God, Peter, you just scared the hell out of me, man. I read it really briefly and I thought that it said there's no sound now. And I immediately am looking at everything and I'm like, no, the sound should be working. It's a Peter problem. He says, I got sound now. Okay, I understand. Thank you, Peter. Yeah, my God. Look, I know that the restream numbers are wrong, and I can just tell from the chat room that we're missing a lot of people today. But we've got a very short show. This is Pugs Unplugged. That's what you're getting today. This isn't full band. This is just me. It's just me and like 15 of my closest friends, and I'm going to sing a few songs for you. I'm going to sing a few songs about America. Here we go. I want to get back to the Chinese sex robot story, but I don't know that I can. So maybe you know what? Let's just go back into it. All right. We were watching a video. I don't know if you were following along. Maybe you had checked out. Maybe you weren't enjoying the segment as much as I was, but we were watching. There we go. Look at that. Okay. Here we go. One more time. There is a new company in China who unveiled their new line of hyper-realistic sex robots. Okay. They're not sex robots. They're companion robots. Companions. They're all fuckable. They're all not a single fat one, not an ugly one, but they're companion robots. Wink, wink. All right, so this is we're finally starting to get a look here. This is the video put out by the company. This is we're starting to get a look at the companion robot. Look at this guy. This guy, like I said, this guy looks like a 50-year-old fashion designer who's like started getting Botox and plastic surgery at 28, and this is what he looks like now at 50. He's got Jerry Jones smooth skin. Remember when Jerry first got his facelift and he looked like a gerbil because it was all pulled back super tight? That's what this guy has. This guy, this Bangbot. He is a Bangbot. Oh, that's the question, right? Now, I've watched this entire video, and although I don't speak either Cantonese or Mandarin, I don't speak the Chinese language as. So I don't know if they mentioned it. I don't know how they would mention it. But your question for the girls are pretty easy to figure out. The question is, can this particular model become erect? Not that I need that, but I like my robots to be as realistic as possible. And I don't know, it's not all that important if he doesn't get erect. And it's really important. But I'm just wondering. It's not that important to me. It's very important to me. Right? Okay. All right. That sounds like a question designed for AI. All right, here we go. I'm going to ask AI this question. Hi, AI. How are you? Well, you don't have to answer that. Let me get to my point. So UB Tech, the Chinese robotics firm that introduced new hyper-realistic human-looking companion robots. Can the dude companion robots get hard? Seriously, can they? And tell me about what's going on with the women's genitals. All right, see, there you go. We've just asked the hard questions. I didn't mean to say that. All right. Oh, well, this kind of blows. This I don't get. All right, so AI is telling me no. Male companion robots cannot get hard. They put it in quotes. Biologically or through vascular mechanism, and neither male nor female robots have functional biological anatomy. The recent companion humanoids introduced by Chinese robotics firms like UB Tech are engineered for public services, elder care, and emotional companionship. All right. Let's see 2.0, though. I bet these aren't going to sell quite as briskly as 2.0 does. All right, we're done with the story. Turns out they're not designed for sex and that I was completely wrong. But wasn't that a fun little ride we just went on? All right. What else do we want to talk about here? The climbers made a video. These two, can we talk about these two climbers? They, the commie climbers who, dazzled us all with their absurd feats of stupidity. I mean, it's really dumb. It's dumb, but it's also like, here's what I think. So these two people, a guy and a girl, they're engaged now. Don't know their names. You would think for somebody who's as obsessed with the female as I am that maybe I would know their names, but I don't really care. So these two Russian-born, one is a circus performer. The girl was raised by circus people. So, she's wild. And he is like a parkour guy, like an old parkour rock climber guy. And they got together. They met in a chat room. I'm not kidding. They went out a chat room, but they met in like some group. I don't know, whatever. People who like to climb, hot people who like to climb things.com. That's where they met. And, they've been going around for quite some time now, I guess. Although, how long could it be? They both look like they're 22. Like, how long? It turns out there's a whole Netflix documentary about these two, how they climb things. How long have they been doing this? Anyway, we mostly never heard of them before. Until they burst upon our scenes with breaking news on Tuesday, I believe, of these two people, these two crazy nuts. They climbed up to the top of the Empire State Building. They unfurled a banner. Oh, everybody, right, left. All right, not everybody, just right, left, waiting to see what the banner said. They wanted to be triggered or whatever. Because one thing that everybody in the moment agreed on is, look at these assholes. Look at it. What are these assholes doing? Like, that was our reflexive. I know. We talked about this. Why is it? We see somebody doing that. And before we have time to even process what's happening, we're like, look at this idiot, right? That's how I reacted. But I don't think they're idiots. I think they're born in Russia. And as with many of the people that I know who have been or were born in Eastern Europe, they're a little fucked in the head. They're a little nuts. It's a whole different way of looking at the world over there. Those people don't really... You want to know why America is the greatest country here as we sit on the eve of its 250th birthday? It's the greatest country in the world because I believe we're the last group of citizens who really don't want to die. We're the last group who's like, man, that would suck. There's a whole new season of House of Dragon coming, and I don't want to die. My God, have you seen how good my White Sox are playing? And the Bears season is coming. I don't want to die. But everywhere else, maybe England, maybe Canada shares this with us. But like Eastern Europe, like those people, the world has not been good to them. There are not a lot of moments of joy. So all they do is do sit-ups and get really hot and then come here and climb things. At least that's what these two are doing. And that's why I think that they do these things. I told you the story about the Eastern European girl, and my buddy Ed, he used to run. In the early days of the internet, we had a bunch of different businesses he was running, and I was employed and I was doing some things, and I was managing or running the night, overseeing, whatever you want to call, one of these early chat rooms before OnlyFans, where you just get a bunch of girls and you put them on camera, put them in different rooms, and then you make guys pay for them to talk dirty to them or whatever. So that's what we were doing. We had that going on, and there was this one girl from Eastern Europe, and she's really nice. And she had a shaved head, and she wore a wig for her streams. But then, when she's having coffee in the break room or whatever, and I'd come in and I'd be like, how's everything going today? You getting good numbers? like a good pimp. We'd have conversations, and she told me a story. This is, again, she's from Russia, but I just lump her into the whole Eastern Europe thing. Or she's from like Lithuania or something. I don't know, whatever. So she started telling me about why she shaves her head and blah, blah, blah. And because she's beautiful. And when she wears the wig on camera, it's like, wow. And then she takes the wig off and you're like, what? What happened? She told me a story about how she was in school and she watched her brother get run over by an invading tank on the schoolyard. I just thought, man, that's why being like a cam slut is not a big deal to her. She's like, oh, yeah? Oh, you have the luxury of thinking this is somehow morally questionable? Let me tell you something. At 12 years old, I looked out my classroom window and watched my brother being trampled by an invading army's tank. So, yeah, fuck you. I'm going to spread my legs. Anyway, that's what I mean when I say that we're the last people that really... And yet all we do is complain. Oh, we hate this place. Hey, go live in Yugoslavia, okay? And I'm not talking about, the Americans who like live in Yugoslavia because they're interpreters or they're involved in big banking or whatever. No, go live in Yugoslavia as a plumber, okay? Go have that experience. Actually, my friend moved to Prague and he's quite happy there. All right, go to Prague and live as a elementary school janitor. Tell me if you wouldn't rather be in this country. We're still the greatest country God ever created. And the reason that we're having all of these problems, the biggest threat to this country, as far as I can see, is the fact that we're all fat, lazy, and bored. And we don't have a real obvious enemy like we did for so long, whether it was the Japanese or the Germans or, the Vietnamese, and in the Cold War, so it was anybody who was communist. We don't have that anymore. Trump is like exchanging airplanes and super expensive gifts with the Saudi royal family and the Qataris. We don't have the obvious enemy anymore. So what happens when there is no heel? We turn on each other. We fucking hate our neighbor because we don't have anybody to hate. My son said it the other day, and I had said forms of this, but he said we were talking. I don't even know what we were talking about, but he said, Bloods won't be fighting Crips when the aliens show up, and I'm like, yeah, that's right. As soon as we have another decided enemy, that's when we'll all come together. But when I say talking about these two crazy hot building climbers that they're different than us. They might be fun to go out drinking with and stuff and be friends with and all that, but they don't have the same sort of. They're willing to gamble that whatever is next might be better than their experience so far here. So they do shit like climb buildings. Anyway, these two hotties. Well, I don't mean two, although. Got to be honest, no homo here. I am a straight man, but I can see. I'm looking at the dude. You know why? Because I find her so attractive. I'm like, he needs to be worthy. And I look at him and I'm like, yeah, that figures. Yeah, that looks like a hot couple. They're fine. So they made a video after being released from jail because really, there's a whole bunch of charges, but it's going to be nothing. They ain't going to jail over this, okay? Let's watch the video that they made and tell me you don't think they're lovely. Oh, the other thing I wanted to say, about, the thing they made, we all saw it and we were like, oh, look at these idiots. But then the next thing was, oh, they're unfurling a banner. So like the whole country, like, right and left, were both ready for whatever this banner was going to be. Like if it was going to be like, fuck Trump, then the left would be like, yeah. And the right would be like, let's put him in jail forever. Right. But if it was something like, MAGA forever, then the right would have been. We were fully expecting this banner to be some kind of polarizing political statement because we're all dopamine addicts and we were just waiting to be triggered by it. And guess what happened? They put up a very nuanced and elaborate message that forced people to go, wait, what? Wait, hold on. Wait, I got to think about that. Wait a second, is that like lefty or righty? I don't know. Wait, when the love of power succumbs to the power of love, the world will know peace. And then nobody knew whether or not they should be mad at that. So, I love them. I think they're great. I think they're awesome. And again, if they don't care that they fall from the 80th floor of a building or 100th floor of a building, if they don't care, I shouldn't care. I go back to the way I felt about the Bash Brothers. The Bash Brother, Mark McGuire and Jose Canseco and the Oakland A's of that era. They were just cranking homers, man. Chicks dig the long ball, but so does pugs. I loved those guys. And people would say, well, yeah, but they're using steroids. My attitude about steroids back then was pretty much, hey, if they don't care about back hair and intestinal cancer, why should I? They're entertaining me. I want to see a 750-foot home run. Jose, give it a shot. So that's how I feel about these climbers. They don't care. Why do I care? Why am I being a pearl-clutching, Nelly? Get them off the building. They could get hurt. Or let them keep going and entertain us for the next couple of hours. Free of charge. All right, let's see. So I want to show you this video because, like I told you, these two knuckleheads are like two of my favorite people on the planet right now. And it really has less to do with my obvious heterosexual attraction to this girl. God, she's so cute. She's like a my son again yesterday. My son called her an action hero. He's like she's real. She's like she could be in the Marvel universe. You know, if you told me like she was some crate or the Boys or something like that. All right, where I can't find it now. After all of this. Oh, the climbers. Here we go. Yeah, I'm sorry. And all right, so let's watch this. And again, the girl. For some reason, she reminds me of Sopranos Guma. Oh, Johnny, why don't you love me, Johnny? I don't. She just reminds me of her. I can't remember Tony's Guma's name, but let's watch the video here. I'm gonna mute the sound. Although it's really cool with the sound, but I'm pretty sure they don't have official licensing from Aerosmith to be able to use Dream On. But here we look. First of all, can we just not agree that there is something inherently adorable about this girl? All right, she's not all covered in tattoos. She doesn't have nose rings. You know, she just looks pure and clean and nice and crazy. You just know that these two have the kind of sex that you would be willing to watch. You know you would. That's probably beautiful. That's probably beautiful lovemaking. I'd like to watch that. And then I'll move myself to the bathroom and nobody needs. God, that's not the hottest thing ever, right? All right, now look, real video. All right, yeah, the guy, I don't even give a shit, right? Okay, oh, you're a dumb guy climbing. This bitch is awesome. This is like. You know me, I was raised by a single mom. I was raised to believe that chicks could do everything. So, you know, I'm not the guy who pokes my head in the cockpit and go, we got any broads flying this? Because I don't fly with broads. Right now, I'm not that guy. Never have been. This is a turn on for me. I can't explain it, but the idea that she's a girl and she's this crazy. That's so loud. Why is it so loud? I've got it down to like 20%. All right, let's go. See how low. Well, now it's muted. Okay, here's as low as it can possibly fall. The next thing that they do, because they're really capitalizing on this, they'll do something again, and they may do something again, and then maybe in a few months they'll do something again, and then we'll be like, oh, they're still doing this, and then we'll start to lose interest, and then it'll be like, she fell 1,000 feet to her death, and we'll all be like, oh, that's so sad. Yeah, that's how it's going to play out. They're going to be famous now for this for a little while. And in the end, the final episode of this series is going to be, she's going to die. Or they'll die. No, they'll die together, right? And will it be something like one of them falls and then the other one goes, and then the other one just willing? Yeah, that's the movie. All right, somebody get Hollywood on the phone. Seriously, we are fleshing out this movie. Who plays her? Ariana Grande. I've cast Ariana Grande. Who's playing him? I don't fucking care. Just rando Jacob Elordi. Let's do that. Ariana Grande and Jacob Elordi. I think that's pretty good casting, actually. That's wild, isn't it? I mean, I think that's pretty damn good casting. All right, let's go back to the video that the crazy, super hot communist. These people, you know that when they planned this whole thing out, like there were multiple times when he went, maybe we should just fuck. And she's like, no, we can't do that. We can't go all the way. We represent love for the world. Let the world see our love. Maybe you could blow me. Oh, you're missing the point. Right? He's just, this is romantic. And I'm not even a romantic guy, but I can see why this is going to resonate. maybe not when, yeah, well, there. Oh, come on. I bet you every like 20-year-old girl is like, oh, it's so romantic. It's good. This is going to be big on Instagram or wherever the hell those people are. It's very romantic. Even as like, a mean old white middle-aged guy playing too much. And I don't think a Joe Perry guitar solo needs to be a reason nobody sees this show ever. All right, look at her. She's up there. Is she doing yoga? Yes. Where is that? What building is this? I don't even know where any of these places are. Look what she's doing, rhythmic gymnastics. Oh my God. She is a superstar. I mean, I'm sorry. I'm mesmerized. Look, here they are. Now, okay, so here's their message. That is, I don't know, if you can find a problem with this message and you can go, well, they're typical libtards, or all they're typical right-wing MAGA, whatever. If you can find a problem with this, I don't know what the message, once again, the banner that they hung atop the Empire State Building is, when the love of power succumbs to the power of love, the world will know freedom. It is a beautiful sentiment, and I may not even have it right. It might be a little bit different worded, but that is basically what it is. Okay, so when the power of love beats the love of power, the world knows peace. Okay, that's awesome. I got no, all right. All right, there you have it. They're awesome. I couldn't be. And they're Russians. Look at me, a Cold War baby. Liking the Russian kids. All right, what else do we have here? We're not going to do that. We're not going to do that. We're not going to do that. We already did that. I know I got more. I'm running out of things to do on today's show because I've eliminated the heavy. Oh, let's do happiest state rankings. That'll be fun. Yeah. So because of America's 250th birthday, we're still a baby in the realm of worlds, countries. 250, that's nothing. We're new. Like England's like 5,000 years old. Rome, Paris, Anyway, point is this: happy 250 to us here, and because of that, they put out a study. Who's they? I don't know. We'll get into it. Maybe it'll mention it. If not, I'm not going to look that hard for it. You don't need to know. But they put out a study where they compiled all kinds of government statistics, crime, fear, contentment, therapy sessions. They did it all. Oh, they did it all. Some say it's the most beautiful study of all time. All right. So they were trying to determine what state is the happiest based on all of these things. Okay, so we've got that for you. So let's go through the happiest and more to, the fun part, the least happy states. Let's find the states that are the least happy. America at 250, it says. And then it gives away so I'm not going to tell you what it says there. As the United States turns 250 years old, a sweeping new report tracking the health of all 50 states and Washington, D.C. has delivered a verdict that cuts through political noise with uncomfortable clarity. Well, I've looked at the list. I don't think there's anything uncomfortable about it. American incomes, blah, blah, blah. Where? All right, it doesn't matter. All right, you get it. They just made a list. Researchers pulled from data spanning from 1990 to 2024, covering all 50 states plus Washington, D.C. They identified 31 reliable state-level measures spanning mental health, physical health, education, the environment, inequality, civil liberties, and social trust, drawing on more than 40,000 individual indicators. All right, so it's a really comprehensive study, and here's what they found out. Are you ready? Where would you think, chat room, happiest state? Tell me in the chat room right now. I want to see your guests. What state, and I'll fill time until, you get this because I realize there's a delay. Tell me, chat room, what you think is the happiest state in the United States. That's all I want to know. Happiest state. And while you're doing that, I'll tell you what the least happy state is. Are you ready? Coming in at number 51. Well, I want to make sure my people are here. Number 51, the least happy state. Maddie, are you buckled up? It's Louisiana. Louisiana is the least happy state. Maddie joins us multiple times a week, and I'll be joining her new Twitch stream as she gets ready to launch that. She's down there, boots on the ground in Louisiana, getting active in politics, getting active in local newspapers and reporting and all of that. And she comes on a couple times a week, and she'll tell you how bad it is. She's like, it's bad. Just yesterday, she told us about how they're selling out this entire wetland environmental conservation area. Those are all words that kind of mean the same thing. She told us about how they're selling all that out to Elon Musk so he can build rockets. So yeah, Louisiana is the least happy state. Now, I asked you in the chat room, I said, what do you think? What would you predict the most happy state is? First, we got Peter. Thank you, Peter. I love that you play along. Peter says, Montana. Montana. All right, let me tell you where Montana. Maybe you pronounce it Montana. Where does Montana come in? He says it's the most happy. Hold on. Well, I'll tell you this much. It ain't the most happy, Peter. Pick the one state. There it is. Number 17. Comes in number 17. Top 20. Top half of happy. Top half. That's pretty good. All right. Peter came in with Montana was his guess. Then we've got, Al came in with Colorado. Peter came in with Montana. Oh, Peter's making multiple guesses. That's why I'm confused. All right. Peter said Montana. Montana is 17. Al's up next. Al says Wisconsin. Where's Wisconsin come in? I love Wisconsin. Wisconsin is like, I've always said this. I go, well, if I ever have enough money to retire, which let's not kid ourselves, but if I ever did have money to retire, Wisconsin, I'm moving up there to Wisconsin. I'm going to live on a lake, and I'm just going to chill and look at birds. All right, let's see where Wisconsin came in. If Montana was 17 on the list of the happiest states, where must Wisconsin be? I don't know. Number 8. There you go. I passed it over. Wisconsin is number 8. That's weird. It's weird that Wisconsin is number 8 because the number 1 happiest state in the country is its neighbor, Minnesota. And I make no distinction between, well, I do make a slight distinction between Minnesota and Wisconsin, but they're basically the same thing. Like Michigan, Northern Illinois, that northeastern part of Iowa, Wisconsin, Minnesota, it's all the same. It's a gigantic forest with a whole bunch of lakes. There you go. Minnesota is the number 1 most happy state in the United States, and the least happy, sorry to say, Louisiana. All right, let's go through more of these. Let's do the top. Should we do the top 10? Let's do a top 10 countdown. Although, we've already told you number 1. Number 10, happiest state in America is Utah. Those people, they're, first of all, there's not a lot of them. All right, this is what I'm going to do. I'm going to riff on these states. Utah, there's not a lot of them. They're all gorgeous, by the way. That's the other thing about Utah, which is why I think it's a state filled with space aliens. I think that if the aliens were trying to replicate what we find pleasurable in another human being, they would create people who look like the Osmonds. Do you remember when Elizabeth Smart got abducted from wherever in Utah and they put her on TV and everyone in America went, my God, that is like the prettiest little girl. Look at that pretty little blonde girl. Yeah, she's ugly for Utah. That's an ugly chick in Utah. Utah's got beautiful people. They're weird. They're weird. They're like Amish, right? Well, I know, Mormon, but that's like, one of them made up L. Ron Hubbard meets, I don't know. Pogs, what are you doing? You slamming the Mormons? I don't think the Mormons should be immune from any kind of questions about their weirdness. Anyway, they're happy because they don't know any better. That's why I'm saying number 10 happiest state in America is Utah. They're happy because they don't know any better. Number 9 is Utah. Same thing without all the weirdness. Although I bet there's weirdness in North Dakota. Number 9, I don't care to really expound much. Number 8 is Wisconsin. We talked about Wisconsin. I love Wisconsin. I could be very happy in Wisconsin. Number 8, very good. Number 7 is South Dakota, which is so weird, right? So number 7 is South Dakota. Number 8 is Wisconsin. And number 9 is North Dakota. Like, does North Dakota and South Dakota compete to such an extent that this is a big thing? We're one place higher. We are. Never mind. Again, which one has. Okay, so I don't. Oh, geez. Which one has the faces carved into the mountain? Is that north or south? And which one has the Badlands? Is that north or south? Are both of those things in the same state? Or is one in one and the other's in the other? Okay, they should just be one state, right? Can we be honest? The Dakotas and the Carolinas need to be one state. I've always felt this way. Maybe even West Virginia could be absolved into Virginia. Number 10 is Utah, happiest state in America. Number 9 is North Dakota. Number 8 is Wisconsin. Number 7 is South Dakota. Number 6 is Nebraska. Again, these people don't know any. What's to be upset about in Nebraska? You've normalized having nothing to do. You've normalized just, let's go cow tipping. And that's like the height of your fun. There's so few minorities that even when you do run across a black guy, it's not like you see him as a threat as much as a curiosity. Hello, my black friend. Come have a cup of coffee with me so I can speak to you here in Lincoln, Nebraska. What are you, attending courses at the college? Playing football for the teams? Okay, Nebraska. They're happy there. Massachusetts. Oh, big old liberal tax and spend and big dumb East Coast, big old Yankee. Massachusetts, the 5th most happy state in the United States. Number 4, Vermont, another one of those big old liberal, stupid tax and spend, right? Vermont, number 4, happiest state. Number 3, Iowa. The old bellwether. Middle of America. Number 4. I got nothing on Iowa. I like Iowa. Iowa's my neighbor. I grew up in Illinois. Iowa's right there. Iowa's cool. Number 2, New Hampshire. Bunch of happy lesbians up there. Isn't that where Vito went in the two Sopranos references? Isn't that when Sopranos when Vito went to the woods and started hooking up with Johnny Cakes? That was in New Hampshire. They seemed very happy. Everybody in that town where Vito was on the lam, where Vito was lambing it. Everybody in that town seemed very happy. All right. New Hampshire is number 2, and we already covered Minnesota number 1. So the 10 happiest states: Minnesota number 1, New Hampshire number 2, Iowa number 3, Vermont number 4, Massachusetts number 5, Nebraska number 6, South Dakota 7, Wisconsin 8, North Dakota 9, and Utah 10. Just missing out on the top 10. We'd like to reward this for the try hard. The try hard state coming in at number 11, the 11th happiest state. Well, I've been talking about the Sopranos. New Jersey. All right, now let's kick some losers in the nuts. What do you say? Let's go with the states where the people are the least happy. And it tracks. I mean, it pretty much tracks. Like Louisiana. Here's what's great about Louisiana. Louisiana is the least happy state in America. Minnesota is the most happy state in America. And you just know that one of the reasons the people in Louisiana are upset is because of all the shit that's going on in Minnesota. Goddamn Somalis. Oh, Derek Chauvin was innocent. Right? Isn't that crazy? So the most happy state, where the people are like, yeah, it's pretty good here, actually. The most happy state is like the state that is making the least happy state the most. Here's what I'd say about you idiots in Louisiana. Hey, Maddie, maybe you can spread the word. How about mind your own business? How about not worrying about what's happening in Minnesota? Because quite frankly, for all the talk that Newsmax and Fox News and all these people do about Minnesota, they've just come in at number 1, the happiest people in the country. So mind ya, all right? Mind your business. All right, 50. Oh, by the way, Louisiana, and this must even be worse. We got 50 states. It comes in number 51. That's Louisiana's number 51 because they account for District of Columbia. So there's like 51 regions, 50 states in one district. All right, coming in, the least happy people in America, Louisiana, number 51. Number 50, least happy state in America. And I've been here, and yeah, I mean, I'm like, my God. Why are you people here? They had cockroaches that you could put a leash on and walk down the street, and people would be like, that's the ugliest dog I ever saw. New Mexico. New Mexico is number 50. It's the worst state I've ever been to. And I've driven across Oklahoma from border to border. New Mexico is the worst state I've ever been to. All right, New Mexico is number 50. I stayed at what was supposed to be one of the nicest hotels in Albuquerque, and I was like, oh my God, this place sucks. It had like 1970s carpeting. I'm like, this place sucks. It's vintage. That's why you're paying so much. No, it's old. It's old, not vintage. There's a difference. New Mexico is number 50. Number 49 is West Virginia. They're unhappy there. Number 48 is Nevada. Yeah. Right? Well, I got to move my Zen. Nevada. That's a lot of unhappy people. It's where big dreamers go to learn that dreams don't come true. That's what Nevada is. So yeah, I understand why Nevada is number 48, the least happy state. Nevada is one of those places where everybody is from somewhere else, right? Nevada is the kind of place where every other person was born in Jacksonville and now they're a dealer at Harrah's. So yeah, they're unhappy. Shit didn't work out. Number 47. If there is a list about bad things or low-rated things occurring in America, if there's any list, Mississippi's going to be on it. It's going to be right near the bottom of it. Mississippi, number 47. They are the least happy people in America. Number 46 is Alabama. Now we're going on the Southern Red State run where everybody's miserable. Maybe that's it. Maybe you're jealous that Minnesota is like the happiest. And you're like, wait a second, how can you be happy with all them Somalian daycare centers? Right? That's what's confusing all the people in the angry states. How can you be? Well, because they live there, and it's not the problem that's been sold to you, stupid, but this ain't the first time this has happened. All right. Let's see here. So Mississippi, Alabama, Oklahoma comes in at number 45, least happy state. So those are the 5 least happy, right? We did the top 10 happiest, so we'll do the bottom 10 unhappiest, I should say. Louisiana, New Mexico, West Virginia, Nevada, and Mississippi. That's 5. Alabama is 6. Oklahoma is 7. Kentucky is the 8th least happy state. South Carolina is the 9th. Tennessee is the 10th. And then the next few are, the try-hard. They want to be as unhappy as, say, South Carolina, but they can't. They're Georgia. Crazy. All right, so who's right in the middle? Like, what states are just like, yeah, whatever? Like, what states are, like, in the middle? Okay. Wyoming. Wyoming's right in the middle. Yeah, way to take a stand, Wyoming. You distinguish yourself through nothing. Like, what is Wyoming known for? What is Wyoming known for that Montana can't also claim? What, it's like that. I can't even name, like, what's a city in Wyoming? Casper? So I think Casper. All right. All right. Wyoming is right in the middle. Wyoming is 25. Delaware is 24. And start spreading the news. New York dead in the middle at 26. Where's California? Because that's what's important here. You want to look at the populous states, right? You want to look at the states with the big population. So let's try and find the big population states. I would hope that they would be somewhere in the middle. Okay, New York. New York is the first truly big population state, and they come in at number 26. So right dead smack dab in the middle. All right, now there we go. And these are the big states. All right, so right smack dab in the middle are the states with the largest populations. You've got New York at 26, Illinois at 27, California at 28, Michigan at 29, Pennsylvania at 30. There you go. Those are the guts of where the people live. Coming in at number 3, the number 33 most happy state in America, Texas. Bottom half. Texas is why are all the people who supported Trump, why are all the Trump states the least happy states? Well, maybe it has something to do with the fact that you now have to tolerate pedophilia. You didn't see that one coming. You also have to tolerate a guy just stealing all kinds of money, getting himself rich. You thought you had a problem with that. You know, the big Pelosi thing and Hunter Biden, but whoa, you weren't prepared for this plot twist. So maybe that's why. I don't know. Anyway, happy birthday, America. Happy birthday to the good. Oh, did I mention? Yeah, I mentioned Illinois. That's where I am. We're 27. We're like literally right in the middle. What is right in the middle? What is right in the middle of 51, right? It's like 20, 25 point whatever. So okay. Illinois is 27. Right in the middle of this would be probably Illinois at 27, New York at 26. And yeah, there you go. We'll go with those two as dead in the middle. New York and Illinois, Chicago and New York. We're like, whatever. It's not that bad. At least we have air conditioning that doesn't go out. Sorry, Texas. Sorry. All right, let's do some videos. We were gonna do 3 videos. You know, every day I like to pull 3 videos and just kind of break them down, and we have a little fun with them. But we only got 2 today. We got 2 today because I showed one of them earlier. It was the Fire Fest there on the National Mall. People, well, I guess I can just show it to you again. Yeah, we did. I think we opened the show with this. This is the first video of our 3 videos. Once again, we're going to watch rehearsals for some Boogie Woogie Bugle Boy performance at the Freedom 250 Fest. And this is what happened on stage. Oh, yeah, there it is. That's what I like. I like at the end. I don't know if you heard it. We don't need to do it. We did a whole segment. If you want to see a full comprehensive breakdown of that, you can just go back to the beginning of the show. But you hear someone at the end saying, I've been waiting for something like that to happen. No bid contracts. Let's see. What else do we have? That's the first video. The second video. Oh, this, okay. All right. So, all right, Maddie, this is for you. This is for Maddie. I know Maddie's going to appreciate this. So there's a girl here, liberal, left-wing, communist adjacent, or maybe just full-blown communist Chicago. We do have one of them crazy AM like stations that's, it's owned by a religious company. Salem Broadcasting, they're religious, they're Christian broadcasting. They own like a whole bunch of really far right talk stations in America. They're Salem. Their logo is the fish. It's the Jesus fish. They started out as like Christian stuff, but they realized that they can use Christianity to also get into political talk. So now Salem owns a whole bunch of stations across the country, well funded by special interests, and that's why nobody listens to these stations. All right. You've got one in Dallas. I think it's K-Sky, right? Nobody listens to K-Sky. Sadly, I think Sybil might be on that station, but it's another one of these Salem stations. They exist just so that they can cash checks from special interests. They don't care that there's like 40 people listening at a time. It's all a write-off at the end of the day, and it's a way for them to raise money. So we've got one of those in Chicago because Salem, albeit good Christians, they also recognize a business opportunity. So we've got one in Chicago. We've got WIND, a legendary local Chicago station, a powerhouse, a bitch of a beast that goes all the way back to the 1940s. Legendary, but now it's been purchased by Salem, and then they're putting on this far right stuff. So let me introduce you to one of their hosts. She's not an everyday host. She does special shows on the weekend. She's one of them. This is why I say this is for Maddie. She's one of them trad wives. Very proud of it. Yeah. The whole trad wife. You know what that is. Personally, I think she's a little bit too opinionated to be a trad wife, but okay. She does her little trad wife act on WIND. Her name is Jenny McGuire. And there's been a piece of video released of Jenny McGuire, the trad wife, living that trad wife lifestyle. Here she is, conservative talk show host in Chicago, Jenny McGuire, the trad wife, in secretly recorded video of her domestic situation. Enjoy.
They don't get to eat my fucking food.
Now, I paid for all the food. You broke this. Once again. Get out of the house. I've asked you 4 times. Go to your parents.
I've asked you to get out of the house, too.
Ow! That one was on video, thank God.
Got it.
Ow! All this is on video. All this on video. All this on video.
Get it on video, bitch.
How about that? She's appeared on TV with her husband where she's wearing nice sweater. She looks like that Katie Britt. Remember when Katie Britt did the Republican response a couple of years ago and people were like, that's a fucking Stepford wife. She has played that role. And that's the reality. Now, this isn't an aha gotcha moment. What I'm using it for is to show you people who, when you watch that shit, this whole trad wife movement, understand these people are grifters. They are telling you to live this way when they have no intention of actually living that way. It's a grift. It's an act. And you people so many of you have actually started to adopt this lifestyle. And even the people, you're stupid. One more time. Let's watch good all-American Chicago radio host and self-proclaimed trad wife. Let's watch her. She's, what is it? Jenny McGuire? Yeah, Jenny McGuire. Living that trad lifestyle. Oh, did we lose it? No, I thought I lost. I thought I had it up. Yep, here we go. All right, one more time. Let's enjoy it. She seems nice. She seems not. Oh, by the way, her whole thing is Jesus too. She's big in the whole Jesus and Christians and all that kind of stuff and trad wife and there you go. Hold on. Yeah, not so traddy sounding. You're damn right. Looks like she beats her husband's ass. She does. She is a violent psychopath. And there are people who actually listen to this woman and think, she seems so nice. I'm going to send her my retirement checks so that she can give it to the Jesus group that she's promoting this week. All right. Here she is. Let's watch it again. Again, Jenny McGuire, trad wife, and Chicago area radio talk show host.
Their dinner's over. They don't get to eat my fucking food.
Now, I paid for all the food. You broke this. Once again. Get out of the house. I've asked you 4 times. Go to your...
I can provide a little bit of context, at least insofar as the many Reddits and stuff that I have read concerning this morning. The kid didn't want to eat her trad wife dinner. She made dinner and the kid did. How many of you mother, how many times you made something for your kid and they didn't want to eat it? And it's a little soul crushing, especially when you make something nice specifically for them and then they don't like it. And, but you don't do this. You just find other ways to make them feel guilty about the effort you've put in and how they didn't really show their appreciation. But anyway, this is how the good Jesus-loving pro-MAGA trad wife handles that situation.
Their dinner's over. They don't get to eat my fucking food.
Now, I paid for all the food. You broke this. Once again. Get out of the house. I've asked you 4 times. Go to your parents.
I've asked you to get out of the house, too.
Ow!
The kid. It's like the kid at whatever age that is, 5 or 6. The kid has seen this before. Listen to the urgency in that kid's voice. That kid, again, at whatever age he is, seems to have seen this side of mommy before, and he wants it to stop. I mean, that is heartbreaking.
Go to your parents.
I've asked you to get out of the house too.
Go! That one was on video, thank God.
I love that kid saying that, because that is all we need to know about who the aggressor is. There's no bullshit here. If it was dad who was causing the problem, no, it's mom. It is mom. The kid is like, mommy. That's heartbreaking.
Got it. House too.
Go! That one was on video, thank God.
Got it.
Yeah.
All this is on video.
Yeah.
All this on video.
Yeah.
All this on video.
That's it. I hope she gets arrested. I hope she gets arrested, and I hope that she spends some time in jail. And by the way, let me just say, when I'm mocking her, she's MAGA and she's Christian and she's a trad wife. When I'm mocking her, I am not mocking authentic people who truly believe and live that lifestyle. I am mocking her because we are awash in phony influencers who have figured out how to get clicks and how to rebrand themselves in a way that is totally inauthentic, but they've determined can keep them employed. And that's what she's doing. She took a job at a radio station that absolutely wants that kind of bullshit, trad wife nonsense, pro MAGA. All the problems in the world is because people don't love Jesus. Nonsense. And she's been playing that role. And now we see whether it's Matt Walsh, he's another one who plays the role. And we know that ain't the real deal with him. Be better. It's about people falling for it and going, oh, that's real. That whole lifestyle is real. It's tenable. In 2020, in 2026, it's tenable to have a relationship where the woman is basically treated like a handmaiden. Good luck. Go fucking try that. Look, if you can get it done, and if she's into it, first, she's mentally retarded, probably. There's something wrong with the woman you married. But that's all right. If she's into it, hey, man, live your life. That's how I am. If you guys want to do, but don't push it to me. Don't tell me that there's somehow I'm deficient because I choose not to live my life that way. Do you? But these people who come out here and promote it and act like it's the way to righteousness or whatever it is, I don't know. They're all con men. They're all fucking con men. Ugh. Or at the very least, disingenuous narcissists. There you go. Okay. Yeah, what do we got? Paper plates? Look at them non-trad wife paper plates. Yeah, well, of course, in the videos that you're making about your trad wife experience, in the videos, you're gonna almost celebrate the notion of being able to do dishes. I just love. There's nothing I like more than after my big man and my little ducklings have their bellies full, then settling in over a big. And I don't use the automatic dishwasher. I don't allow her. You hear the husband in the background. She's not allowed to use that one. I just love washing dishes. Yeah, she's using paper plates. Fucking poser. You inauthentic weirdo. Hold on. All right, what else? Let's do the next one. Let's see here. That's two videos, the stage collapse and the local Chicago conservative radio host who's probably not even going to lose a job. It's probably not going to be a problem. There doesn't seem to be the same rules that apply to the right when they do something that is obviously despicable that apply to everybody else. No, if you're MAGA, you can wrap yourself up and scream shit like, when Trump won, I stopped having to worry about this, right? They can do that, so they'll survive. Good for them. Let's see, the third one. Oh, this is fun. This is one that we can all enjoy. Hey, how about a nice roofer fight? Now, I don't know what's going on here. This went viral yesterday. Apparently, somewhere, and I don't even know where this is. I have no clue. Somewhere in this crazy cuckoo country of ours. Let's say California. So this is a fight that occurred on somebody's house. I don't know if people are living in this house. I don't know if this house is under construction or if this is just, some repairs, a roof job. These guys. All right, this dude's just going to throw a guy off a roof here. I don't know if you're paying attention. This guy right here, he's going to toss this dude off the roof of the house. There he goes. He's falling right here. Right, now these two, let's go back to these two because we got to watch them. All right, you see these two right here? Yeah, they're tussling on the edge. One of these guys is trying to throw the other one over, and they both go over. Yeah, there they go. There they go. Look at this distance, and look at how this guy is falling. Man, I don't get it. Like, if I fell, what are these roofers? Are they like Avengers? How do they survive these things? If I had fallen off the roof like that, I mean, forget it. You guys wouldn't see me for like 4 months. I'd have all kinds of. And then they get up and start fighting like superheroes. How you gonna fall off a roof? I mean, even if it was a fight to the death, I think when I hit the ground, I'd be like, all right, dude, time out. Hold on, dude. Wait. Jesus, man. Wait, stop. Like, oh, these guys keep going. Oh, and the things that they hit on the way down. Did they hit this? This looks like a snowplow thing. Listen to what they hit. That's a noise. That's we're going to spend the next 10 hours in the emergency room noise.
Güey, cálmese a la verga, puto.
All right, hey, any of my Spanish-speaking friends, can you translate this?
Hey. Güey, cálmese a la verga, puto. Hey. Hey, hey.
A stance before you throw a punch is very important. If you are overly excited and you don't have your proper center mass and gravity all accounted for, proper foot spacing is also important. You're gonna throw a punch, and this is what's gonna happen. Look at this guy here.
Hey.
Hey, hey. If you're throwing a proper punch and you miss, you're not supposed to have that happen. You're just not. You're not supposed. You're supposed to be able to counter. Anyway.
Hey.
I don't know what these guys are saying. What are they yelling? And what do you think is happening here? Like, are these two competing roofer crews, or is this the most entertaining roofer crew ever? Well, let's keep going. Where?
Hey, güey, cálmese a la verga.
I also, and this is something you see a lot with certain people, and I guess maybe the roofer, it's okay. The long pants with no shirt. I never understood that. Taking your shirt. I was always a pudgy kid, so I was never real comfortable taking my shirt off. But the blue jeans and no shirt, you see that a lot.
Hey, güey, cálmese. Hey, güey, no le pegues, güey. No le pegues, güey. Van a llamar a la policía a los güeros si no se calman, hijos de la verga, ¿eh?
Acá estos güeyes que mandó
andan agarrándose a vergas, calucha, estos vatos, güey. ¿Para qué vergas mandan a esta gente, güey?
You guys want to kick them out of this country? That's fun. There's nothing wrong with that. That's pretty American, quite frankly. Yeah, what do we hear? Anybody looking to translate that? I don't know what it is. I'm sure it's translated in the comments, but why? Why do you need the comments? You should just be able to react to that naturally. I don't need to read anybody else's thoughts. I got plenty of my own. Let's move on to the final segment before we all shove off for this extended weekend that we are going. And it's probably extended because I imagine the entire world will be closed on Monday too, right? Well, the 4th of July was a Saturday, so we need to have a Monday off. Let's do Can't Beat Fun at the Old Ballpark. That's CBFATOBP. Can't Beat Fun at the Old Ballpark every day at the end of the show. I like to celebrate America's grand game, the sweet sport. The sport of champions. I don't know. These are all titles I think that are applied to other sports, but let's just say it's baseball. The sweet sport. What is the sweet sport? Is that even a thing? I don't think it is. All right. I love baseball, and I think the baseball's on the rebound. And my son, who represents a generation that probably doesn't give much of a shit about baseball, we're calling this baseball summer. We're watching a lot of baseball. He's very interested in baseball, not baseball in general, but the White Sox, and that's good enough. And he's, really, it's fun. I love baseball. Fathers and sons, that's what baseball's about. All right, so every day I like to celebrate with a couple of videos that remind us of how great this game is. Usually it's one video. We've got two today because it falls under I've been talking about this all season now. We've got the ABS system, which is the balls and strikes. A computer now determines whether something is in fact a ball or a strike. The number one rule of baseball for the first 200 years of the game has been you don't argue balls and strikes. That's it. You don't argue balls and strikes. This is a sport where we trust the home plate umpire and we don't have any other better way of doing it. And somebody's got to be the final authority. So the umpire is always right. Don't argue balls and strikes. That's a cardinal rule. Well, we now have robots that are judging balls and strikes, and the robots and the human umpires, well, they don't often see things the same way. It's embarrassing. It's embarrassing for humanity. If you watch baseball with any regularity now, you'll notice that in the production, the presentation, they've got what's called a pitcher's box. So when you're watching the game, there is a box drawn on the screen that constitutes the strike zone. And you actually see on every pitch whether the ball was inside the strike zone or outside the strike zone. We sitting at home can see this every pitch. And most of us watch with, DVRs or the ability to rewind. We can go over and over it. We at home know for absolute certain whether it's a ball or a strike. This year, players, batters, catchers, pitchers even, are allowed to challenge the ball or strike call made by the umpire. And what we're learning is that the umpire is wrong a lot. Just maybe this is something that can be fixed, but we currently have and are utilizing the technology to get every pitch 100% accurate. And yet for some reason, baseball is still like, we think that, the human error contributes a lot to the poetry of our great game. Oh, fuck you. You gotta be kidding me. I've watched a couple of games over the last couple of weeks where there was a strike called a ball or a ball called a strike, and it was in the 9th inning, and the team that got screwed on the bad call by the home plate ump simply didn't have any challenges left and couldn't challenge it, and that's ball game. They lost. That should not be something that we normalize, tolerate, or accept, especially now that we can call balls and strikes perfectly. Let me give you an example. This was a game just this week, and hold on. This is it concerns the White Sox. I'm sorry. You may notice I'm not wearing my White Sox hat today. They're not alone in first place. We're tied in first place. I will wear the White Sox hat when we are alone in first place. So the other night against the White Sox in Baltimore, was the last game against Baltimore. It was unbelievable how bad this home plate umpire was. The post-game show made a whole thing. Now, there were 13 missed calls. 13 times the home plate umpire got it wrong. He called it a ball when it was a strike or a strike when it was a ball. 13 times we know he got it wrong during that game. 12 of them were against the White Sox. So that's why we're a little angry. This particularly bad night for this guy. 13 completely missed balls and strike calls. 12 of them were against us. So let me show you this. I don't understand why we're still doing it. I don't understand why every single one of these home plate umpires Grab a mop, dude. We'll keep you employed. You can clean the umpire's room. How about that?
Wagner. That's amazing. You know what?
Oh, by the way, it should be added. They added some audio drop, like on radio shows when you have, an audio drop, like a little note. They added an audio drop of former White Sox broadcaster Hawk Harrelson screaming about balls and strikes. He used to do it all the time. He said, "What are you looking at? Oh, for Christ's sake!" And so every time this guy makes a bad call, that's what you're going to be hearing. Try not to be distracted by it. But here's an example of how inept we have learned home plate umpires are.
We have always had problems with this guy right here.
All right. Here's just so you know what we're talking about here. All right. This is a strike, as seen by the home plate umpire right here. He's calling this a strike. You see the box? Okay, this is the strike zone. The ball is on the corner on the outside of the box, but instead of it being called, he calls it a strike. Okay, just watch these.
You gotta be raping me. What are you doing, Wagner? You gotta be kidding me. That is absolutely brutal.
Strike. Strike.
That is
He called that a strike. Look at my drop. Look at the batter. He's like, "Are you fucking kidding me?" Challenged it and won it, of course. That's the point. They kept challenging and winning the whole damn game.
unbelievable. You gotta be raping me. You gotta be kidding.
I mean, look, that's questionable. That one's, you challenge that, and then you see what officially ABS had to say about it. That's questionable.
Me.
Some of them are really bad. Like that one. Well outside, called a strike.
That is absolutely brutal. That is
Well outside, called a strike. Well high, called a strike.
You gotta be raping me.
Sit him down on that one. Missing the call that much, and then you're the umpire, and you're like, "Oh, get the hell out of here, you arrogant pieces of garbage." I'm very angry at umpires. I don't see their need anymore. Look, first base, great. Third base, outfield, center, whatever you need, that's fine. Home plate guys calling balls and strike have been proven to be completely it's absurd. I can't. Home plate humans are not as good as the robots. They get it wrong all the time. They also have egos. And they get mad. And this is a second video that we're going to show. This is video John Boy, my guy John Boy. I love John Boy. If you don't follow him, then you don't love baseball. He's very funny, and he does baseball specific content. And one of his things is he takes a moment in a game, and he will do the lip reading, but it's pretty accurate. Like, he's not trying to be funny with the lip reading. He breaks them down and says exactly what they're saying. Here's an example of that. This is another umpire, an umpire who just watch what happens. This umpire made a mistake, and his ego had him act like a bitch. One more reason why we need to get rid of the home plate umpire. For years, we have exalted them as being infallible, and now we're learning that they're just a bunch of bitchy little people who are bad at their jobs.
One of the funnier and dumber ejections you're going to see. You got Kimbrel and Real Muto pitching to the Blue Jays. He's going to get called for a pitch clock violation because his knee went up after the clock hit zero. Clock's at zero. The knee's not up yet. This ump does not care. He says, "No, time, tick-tock, you took too long. The count's now 2-2. Now the ump is thinking, he's a kind of a rookie ump. He's a AAA ump. He got to prove himself, and he's like, these guys are going to be mad at me. I better have my guard up. Meanwhile, Kimbrel says, "You know what? I didn't want to pitch that ball anyway. I discard it. Give me a new one." So the ump throws him a new ball. Now Real Muto puts his glove up. He says, "Hey, he wants a new ball."
All right, so see what's happening here is the catcher, his back is to the umpire's behind him. The catcher doesn't know what's happening behind him. All the catcher has just identified is that his pitcher wants a new ball. So I mean, I've seen it done both ways. It is far more common for the catcher to throw the ball back to the mound, and that's what it looks like Real Muto is doing. He's holding his mitt open. He has seen both the umpire and the catcher has seen that Kimbrel is asking for another ball. However, they can't The catcher can't see that the umpire is responding to that and has just thrown the ball back. The catcher has his mitt up, like, give me the ball and I'll throw it back, like normal people. So watch what happens.
He doesn't realize this ump's going to throw him the ball. He'll figure it out. He's a smart guy. So Kimbrel takes that ball and he inspects it. He's like touching it and he's feeling it. He's looking at it. He's like, guys, this ball stinks too. I'm getting rid of it. So now Real Muto puts his glove up like he wants another ball. And now the ump.
I mean, look at where he's looking. He's looking at his pitcher. He's won with his pitcher.
Is going to give him the ball in the glove, but Kimbrel just received the ball from the umpire. So you can see Kimbrel's eyes go up to the ump like, you're going to throw it to me. And you can see Real Muto's eyes are looking at his pitcher like, oh, he's expecting the ump to throw the ball to him again. I'm not needed. Puts his glove.
All right, you see what just happened there? Okay, so they were confused in a split second, and the umpire went to put the ball in the mid of JT Realmuto, and he pulled his glove away because he realized that the pitcher had already received the ball when the umpire threw it back. The umpire gets supremely butthurt. The umpire acts like this was done on purpose to humiliate him because this umpire, who, by the way, all umpires who we now know are useless at their job, they're feeling their egos this season. And this is what happens.
Glove away, and the ump is made to look like a fool. Oh, what a dummy. Now we got to pick up that ball. And the ump's like, that's it. You've disgraced me. You're gone. Go. Ruben was like, what? I thought you were throwing him the ball back, so I put my glove down. It's like, oh, no chance. No chance. I can't even see you. How am I supposed to know you're giving him the ball back? Like, what? And the ump's like, yeah, he embarrassed me, and it was embarrassing, and I got embarrassed, so I ejected him. It's like, what, dude? How am I supposed to know you're throwing him the ball back? I'm not even looking at you. And then you're throwing it to him. What? You threw the first one, you didn't throw a second? Now Dan Iasonia, the crew chief, comes up, and he's like, what's going on? And JT's like, saw him looking up, so I thought he was throwing him the ball, so I dropped my glove. But then he thought that I did it on purpose, and I don't know, I just thought he was throwing him the ball. And then we go back to the ump, who's like, well, I don't know. I threw him out. I felt disrespected. And maybe I was wrong. Maybe not. Meanwhile, Realmuto has to tell someone, yeah, I got thrown out. They're like, what? Like, catch up, guys. Come on. And he's leaving. He tells Dan, it's the first time in my career. And that is, he's played 2,000 games. That's the first time he's ever been ejected, and it was because of that. This timeless moment is brought.
All right. See, 15 years of Echo Drive technology. Is there no mechanism for that umpire to check his ego and go, oh, I'm sorry, I misunderstood. Okay, I'm sorry. I thought you were being a jerk. There's no mechanism for that. It's all alpha behavior. You're gone. And then it's like, well, I didn't mean it that way. I can't change my mind. That would make me weak. Robots don't act like that. The ABS system doesn't act like that. Okay, we didn't need that situation. They just pointed out that JT Realmuto hasn't ever been ejected from a game before. So it's not even like he's a notorious prick with umpires. Catchers tend to have very good relationships with home plate umpires because they're crouching and standing with them for 3 hours every game. Catchers are typically not troublemakers when it comes to that. So I'm just so sick of the umpires. Ugh. I'm going to watch me some baseball today. I got a lot of baseball I'm going to watch this weekend. 4th of July weekend. I hope you guys have a great time. Say a prayer for America. She needs you. Happy birthday, 250 years. Coffee, whatever. I got nothing else. The storms seem to have, the first wave of the storm seems to have passed, but I think we got more. I think we're pretty much going to be dealing with storms all night. Yeah, severe storms. Guys, do you remember at the start of the show when we did the heat map and I showed you that it was like 96 degrees, I think I told you? It is currently 73 degrees. I started the show, it was 96. It is now 73. That's tornado conditions. That's... Hold on, guys. Let me see something. What? Huh. All right. Anyway, crazy weather. You guys have a great 4th of July. One more time. Thank you to our July supporters. That's right. We're going to do this. Everybody who pays their union dues, that's what we'll call them. Union dues for July. Here are the folks who are paid up, and I appreciate seeing them every day. Maddie dropped a little something. Peter dropped a little something. Barney dropped a little something. Mikey D dropped a little something. Can I add some names for Monday? Please support the show. This kind of talk radio doesn't happen all the time. We're not religious. We're not political. We're just regular working folk. Regular middle of the road working folk. Tired of the bullshit from people on the right trying to make me think this and people on the left trying to make me think that. We gather every day at noon. Hope you come back. Hope you come back with all 10 fingers and all 10 toes. We're going to do a digit check. We'll do a digit check on Monday. I don't want any of you guys getting silly with it. Oh, here's a fun one. Chat room. Where's my chat room? All right, I need my dudes in the chat room. Oh, never mind. You guys will cheat. You guys will look it up. I learned something yesterday that blew my mind. Literally, look at that. Blew my mind. 4th of July, fireworks talk. It blew my mind. When I was a kid, we used to have, well, before I tell this story, may as well tell you how you can support the show and add your name to the wall of heroes. When I was a kid, it was well known. It has been spoken. It was known. It is known. It wasn't even questioned. Every kid on a BMX bike, everybody knew that an M80 was a quarter stick of dynamite. Everybody knew. When you'd blow off an M80, you'd be like, that's a quarter stick of dynamite. Every kid in America knew that. It's not even close to being true. It's not even close to being true. I learned this last night. Apparently an M80 is like 1/32 of it. It's like there's like you need 32 M80s. According to you know what? Maybe this isn't true. I think it is true. My son's research. We were arguing about something and he pulled that up and he's like, this is what I found. So I'm going with it. Didn't you always? All you girls are like right now going, no, Pugs. I honestly never thought of what an M80 is as compared to a stick of dynamite. It's something we boys, especially like 13, 14. It's one of the things. We're just living our life as 13-year-olds waiting for someone to go, for $1 million, how many M80s would constitute a stick of dynamite? We knew that. We're like 4. We'd have been wrong. That's why it was so mind-blowing to me. Yeah, apparently you'd need like 32, which here's what I said next after my kid told me this. If one M80 is, if you would need 32 M80s to equal 1 stick of dynamite, or the explosive power of 1 stick of dynamite, if you would need 32, I have severely underestimated the blow up power of a stick of dynamite. And I think it's because the only time I've ever seen a stick of dynamite has always been in some movie where it's been like 5 sticks of dynamite wrapped together with a wick. And I always think, well, dynamite must be pretty pussy because you need 5 of them just to open that bank safe in 1890. But if you did that, from what I understood, if you took like 5 sticks of dynamite and wrapped, that would leave a crater in a parking lot. You could blow up a car with that. Anyway, I grew up always thinking that 1 M80 was a quarter stick of dynamite. Turns out no. 1 M80 is 1/32 of a. I don't even know how to say it. That's how stupid. That's how mind blown I am. Maddie says she never even shot off an M80. Girls shoot pretty stuff, not explosion stuff. Yeah, dudes like stuff that rock our balls. Dudes like stuff that you can run. You light it and then you run. You're running away. And then the fat kid is like, wait, guys. And then he falls and loses a toe. Boom. We like the explosions that you can feel, right? It's the pretty sparklers. No. We like an explosion that we can feel in our nuts. You wouldn't know about that because you don't have nuts, but you can feel them. You know those ones that's what we like. I don't need it to be pretty. I just need it to tingle my sack. I just need it to feel it down there. Like when the bass drops in a club and it's just boom. Same thing. Feel that in your nuts too. Yes, we are. Maddie says men are weird. Yes, we are. Men are very weird. Oh, Jeff talking about Roman candle wars. My son, we were sitting on our Pope deck. We've got I've told you at the start of the show today, we've got this balcony that is like 5 times higher than everything else in the neighborhood. So we're just like, hello, my people. And we sit out there and we were watching these kids shooting fireworks at each other. They were having a good old fashioned 1980s bottle rocket fight. And I told my kid, I'm like, yeah, we used to do that. We used to do that Roman candle fights. We didn't care. Nobody cared. No helmets. There were no helmets involved. We're just like hold with our hands, or oh, it's hot. Give me a hockey glove. So you're wearing a hockey glove, holding a Roman candle, shooting them at each other. I mean, I've been hit with bottle rockets. It's not like regular. It's like, oh, I've been hit by more, but I can, a couple of occasions. One, I was wearing flip-flops and I jumped and it went off under me and it knocked my flip-flop off. And I swear to God, if I didn't have a flip-flop on, I might have lost a pinky toe. Another one, I was wearing catcher's gear. We were having full-on bottle rocket fights in the condominium development where I grew up, using bottles like guns. And you just light it and you shoot it at somebody hiding in the bushes. I was wearing full-on catcher's gear, and I took one square to the chest. And it just went bang. It's just a bottle rocket. It wasn't that bad. It was all right. Scared the shit out of me, though. Good times. Good times. Guys, that's it. Again, I want you all to be very careful. We're old now. We shouldn't be shooting bottle rockets or Roman candles at each other, and we shouldn't be trying to feel our nuts tingle because of M80s. We don't need this anymore. You know what we are? You know what we're at the age of? We're at the lawn chair with a cold chair. That's where we are. Chair, lawn, can of beer. Yeah, occasionally yelling at kids. Yeah, we can do that. Hey, you better, slow down. There's kids playing in this neighborhood. We can do that. But no bottle rocket fights. I won't be at my mid-50s age dressing in a catcher's outfit having bottle rocket fights with anybody this weekend. Oh, also, aren't you worried about dogs? This is a new thing. Can we just, maybe I've always just had like kick-ass dogs, but this whole thing about we had to go to the vet and get tranks for my little precious. Your dog can deal with it. Dogs, we've had July 4th celebrations for a long time. I don't think dogs in the 1930s needed tranquilizers, and they were fine. Please stop. You need to stop with the fireworks at 9:30 because my little Shasta gets the shits if she hears too many. 9:30? Doesn't even get dark till 9:15. Go kick rocks, lady. Get some earmuffs for little Shasta, or at least a diaper. My dog. I think my dog Blue used to get squirrely with fireworks, but I never gave it a second thought. I was just toughen up. The hell, you're part wolf. Really? This is scaring you? And I'm relying on you to stop, cartel members when they kick down my door? I don't know why they would, but my fantasy world, I'm a much more interesting person. Dogs hate fireworks. It's too loud for their ears. Okay. They can deal with it for one day a year. It's not like going to blow out their eardrums. This wasn't a problem in the 60s, 70s, and 80s and 90s. It is now. And I'm the greatest dog advocate you'll find. I love dogs. I'm a dog guy. Mama B says, this household used to have bottle rocket fights through the house. Yes. Yes, that's the kind of fun you could have if you went over to the Beller's house back around 1980. What are we going to say? 86, 85. Oh, let's go clear through to 93. Let's just. Sally, my brother, and I did it our house as adults also. Grow up! Grow up, Jeff Ballard. You've got children who depend on you having all 10 fingers. I mean, even if they don't need you to do that for actual work stuff, nobody wants to be, it's my dad. He lost 3 fingers. That's not a good look. Your kids are not going to be proud of that. Okay, so we don't do that anymore. How'd your dad lose his arm? Oh, he was hopping boxcars. See, you can't, once you have kids, you got to stop dicking around. All right, that's going to do it. Appreciate you guys. I want y'all to have a good 4th of July. And I will too. And I fully expect to be back here on Monday. And that's it. I love you. Stay neighborly.